Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Musa, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahai, not Allah, not Allah, not Yahuwah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, not Yahusha. It's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah, Quadash. Give honor to the apostles and the bishops and elders of great millstone, who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. In a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing the truth and believing this truth with the full ends of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to those who elect. Shalom to the outworth world that's learning. If your sisters will listen, learning, come listen to the lesson, truth, faith, and education, another day of education, Lord, will us be able to find. I'm Isaiah from Jim Messolano Camp, and I title this lesson, This shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Lord, wouldn't it be able to find.
US with the What if I told you that Russia could hit US with the deadliest missile in just 3 minutes? Sounds like a scene from a thriller movie, right? But this is real and it can happen any moment. Think about it. If a missile is launched and US has only 3 minutes to react, just 3 minutes. That's barely enough time to process what is happening, right? Well, this is not a cooked up story, but exactly what Vyacheslav Volodin, the chair of Russia's State Duma, told the press on September 19, 2024. He said that Russia's Sarmat missile can reach its target in Europe in just over 3 minutes. This is not just a flex. It's a chilling reminder of how close the US is to danger if it comes to World War III. If you are curious to know how deadly Sarmat could be and the devastation it can cause, then let me tell you. Sarmat missiles is a Russian intercontinental ballistic missile, in short ICBM, which boasts a range of over 10,000 kilometers and can carry multiple warheads, including the ability to deploy hypersonic glide vehicles. It is viewed as a critical component of Russia's nuclear triad. It has advanced countermeasures against missile defense system, high payload capacity, and a high degree of maneuverability during the fight. In just a matter of hours, a single low yield nuclear weapon could unleash unimaginable devastation. Russia can kill 34.1 million people and inflict injuries on another 54.7 million people. This chilling scenario, revealed by researchers at Princeton's Science and Global Security Program, paints a harrowing picture of war between Russia and the United States, where the initial strike leads to a cataclysmic ripple effect, forever altering the course of human history. Russia's missile technology has taken a leap forward. We are now talking about the hypersonic glide vehicles like the Avangard, zooming at speed over Mach 20. Launched atop an intercontinental ballistic missile, it maneuvers unpredictably during the fight, making it very difficult for the missile defense system to intercept. With a range of over 6,000 kilometers, Avangard can evade traditional radar detection. Avangard aims to counter advances in missile defense technology, solidifying Russia's position in the global military dynamics.
Now, it ain't no coincidence that this missile, this is called the Avangard. They're taking Ezekiel 38 that Russia shall be a guard. See, this is the Lord flexing, man.
You must be thinking of what about the traditional defense system? Well, in this critical situation, they just can't keep up. Hence, there's a need for change, as it is the need of our as per Russia.
And it said it in Joel 2 that when these missiles fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. That sword is the defense system that any other country had, that America got. They can't detect these missiles.
Now, let me break this down for you. At present, Russia can easily reach anywhere in the continental US with ICBMs, which are basically the intercontinental ballistic missiles like the Sarmat. Now, imagine the chaos if at all they launched an attack. The clock would start ticking and decision would need to be made in an instant. The US has been beefing up its missile defense system, but critics are worried. Are these defenses even ready for hypersonic threats? The risk of a surprise attack is very real and it can lead to a catastrophic consequences. Here's where it really gets scary. In this high-stake game, any miscalculation could trigger a nuclear response, and the world is just not ready for another deadly nuclear war after what we saw happen in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Just think about the pressure on the military leaders to act quickly in a crisis situation like this. One wrong move, and we are in a nightmare scenario. The geopolitical landscape is not helping either. NATO's expansion, conflict in Ukraine, and cyber warfare have all added fuel to the fire, creating an atmosphere of mistrust. But it's not all doom and gloom. There's still room for diplomacy. Historically, the US and Russia have managed to talk through their issues. But with tensions rising and key treaties expiring, it's time to revisit those conversations. In a world where Russia can strike within minutes, we need to prioritize peace and communication because the stakes are way too high this time. Well, that's all in today's video.
Shalom to the Akim Waf tuning in. Yahba Shema Shab Rakatham. Shalom Zakwan. Yahba Shema Shab Rakatah. GMS, Memphis, and the boss. Shalom, Mark. Shalom Zakwan. Yahba Shema Shab Rakatah. So I got these, I got a couple clips here on the show. I want to play that first though. Because I just saw an article, I just saw a video actually. It said that Hezbollah had just shut down Israeli, man. I was gonna click on it, but I didn't. But it said Hezbollah has shut down. Let's play this. See, this is where we at, man. This is where we at. Prophecy. World War III. Salakia. Hold on here. So let me run this back.
In a counter to Western fronts like NATO and the EU, a new power axis is emerging among Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea. These nations, often at odds with Western powers, are deepening their diplomatic, economic, and military ties in what appears to be a concerted effort to counter US influence and Western sanctions. At the center of this emerging alliance is Russia, actively strengthening ties with China, Iran, and North Korea, particularly amid its ongoing conflict with Ukraine. Spearheading this diplomatic effort is Sergei Shoigu, Secretary of Russia's Security Council, whose recent visits to Pyongyang and Tehran underscore Russia's commitment to these partnerships. In Iran, Shoigu met with President Masoud Pezeshkian, who pledged to seriously follow ongoing cooperation and measures to upgrade the level of relations between the two countries. Iranian President Pezeshkian emphasized that deeper ties with Moscow would reduce the impact of sanctions, signaling a long-term commitment to Moscow. Both nations have faced heavy Western sanctions, and Pezeshkian's assertion that relations between Tehran and Moscow would develop in a permanent, continuous, and lasting way underscores the strategic depth of their cooperation.
My government will seriously follow ongoing cooperation and measures to upgrade the level of relations between the two countries. Relations between Tehran and Moscow will develop in a permanent, continuous, and lasting way. Deepening and strengthening relations and cooperation between Iran and Russia will reduce the impact of sanctions.
Western officials have expressed concern that Iran may be supplying Russia with ballistic missiles for use in Ukraine, although Tehran denies these allegations. The potential for technology transfer between the two nations is a significant worry for Western powers, with US and UK officials discussing the possibility of Russia sharing nuclear technology with Iran. North Korea's involvement in this axis was highlighted by Kim Jong-un's meeting with Sergei Shoigu. Both leaders discussed regional and international situations and agreed to expand cooperation to defend mutual interests. Although Western nations accuse North Korea of supplying Russia with military aid, both countries deny such allegations, despite the increasing military cooperation signaled by Shoigu's July 2023 visit.
The Comprehensive Partnership Agreement signed today provides, among other things, for mutual assistance in the event of aggression against one of the participants in this document. In this regard, the Russian Federation does not rule out the development of military technical cooperation with the Democratic People's Republic of Korea in accordance with the document signed today. As a result of today's meeting, a new interstate agreement on comprehensive strategic partnership was signed.
China's position in this emerging alliance is crucial, given its economic might and growing global influence. Russian President Vladimir Putin's meeting with Wang Yi, a top Chinese official in St. Petersburg, demonstrates the importance Moscow places on its relationship with Beijing. Putin emphasized the continuous deepening of the Russia-China Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, highlighting cooperation across various fields. The alignment of Russian and Chinese interests in promoting multipolarity and resisting what they perceive as Western hegemony is a key factor in their strengthening ties.
Now, let me get this next clip. I just want to show some of the beginning of these. There's a lot of things going on dealing with these proxy wars, man. Now this one here. Let's get this guy here. And I just showed you that China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea is joining up, man. And there are other allies.
Can't help but reach the conclusion.
As the scriptures say. Hold on, let me go back.
If we could, Judge, I'd like to go back. Ukrainian officers and senior NCOs to operate weapon systems and aircraft. So you're killing off the seed corn of any future operation. That's definitely something that you want to do.
At the same time, or shortly thereafter, President Zelensky, who is not lawfully in office, as we all know, but who has remained in power, has either fired or asked for and received the resignation of a substantial number of his cabinet, including his rather well-respected foreign minister. What's the significance of this, Colonel?
Well, I don't know how well respected Kuleba is. He's been a mouthpiece for, you know, innumerable lies and misinterpretations and fictions. I think the fact that Kuleba has submitted his papers indicates that the ship is sinking. Someone said to me, if you look at the various ministers that are there, most of them have been there from the beginning, but not all. And for them to resign at this point, you can't help but reach the conclusion that the ship is sinking. If we could, Judge, I'd like to go back to this Poltava incident for just a minute.
Sure.
I think there are a couple of things that are very important about what happened. It's not just the selection of the target. In all wars, people do this. Yamamoto, when he developed the plan to attack Pearl Harbor, the main goal of the plan was to kill as many of the United States Navy's officers as possible, because he said that's the only way Japan has a chance to win, because it takes years to train a naval officer. Well, I think you had the same mentality on the Russian side, but there's something else. Poltava was the site of a very titanic battle involving Russia and Sweden in a bid for dominance of Eastern and Northeastern Europe. The Swedes lost under Charles XII. They were virtually annihilated. So Poltava figures prominently in Russian history. Second thing, it was also the site of Hitler's advanced command post during World War II from 1941, mid to late 1941, and certainly until the beginning of 43 or mid 43. So you can't overlook that symbolism if you're a Russian. Finally, these Iskander missiles that were used, they fly at roughly 4,500 miles per hour. These are hypersonic missiles. They carry a 1,500-pound warhead. They have various kinds. I don't know what they used, if this was just high explosive.
Can they be intercepted?
No, absolutely not. You can't shoot down a hypersonic missile at this point. That was my other argument. And finally,
And that's in Joel, man. In Joel 2. They ain't gonna be able to shoot these missiles down, man. As they say, when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
we have a lot of evidence that suggested for the first time in the war that Putin has directed that officers, commanders on the tactical level, that is brigade, because remember the Russian brigades, they have different kinds. Some are quite large, others are smaller, but they're commanded by generals. That the general who commands a brigade now has the authority to request and release and get the use of an Iskander missile. Up until this point, for Iskander ballistic missiles, which are very deadly and very, 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 very hard to deal with because they're mobile, has been in the hands of higher commanders, at least at the Army and front levels, or what we would call almost theater. Now, suddenly, a general commanding a brigade-sized formation can employ this weapon as he sees fit. That's a dramatic change. And I think the big signal is, look, we're playing for keeps now. No more nonsense. We're coming, and we know exactly where you are, because there were, as I recollect, 3 Swedish officers who had come on board down at Poltava to teach people about the use of their form of airborne warning and control systems, and they were killed. So I think there was also a message here for the Swedes. You want to join NATO? Welcome to the party.
Just as an aside, does the United States have the equivalent of an Iskander?
Not that I'm aware of.
Sounds like a terrific or horrific, depending upon whether you're on the sending or receiving end type of weapon. Colonel,
See, and we know according to the prophecy, man, and what he just said, man. Hey, America gonna be destroyed. They can't stop. This is the Lord, man, and the Lord is tired of America. This Babylon the Great got to go, man. The filth in this place, man. Oh, I was gonna get when the Lord told Abraham that his people shall return to that land. But he said that the wickedness of the Amorites are not yet full. I got 2 more here I want to show. Because he mentioned the Swedes, right? So this is going on with Poland. Let me play this. This place is too much wickedness in America, man. This place got to go. Too much bloodshed and been done here. When you read in Numbers 35 and 33, too much bloodshed and been here, man. It's too much wickedness in this place for this place to continue.
Visual politic community. What is happening in Poland could change the balance of power across the European continent. This country has decided to break the mold, beat all records, and increase its military spending to levels never seen before.
Hold on. I want to play this other one first. Let me get this other one. Bear with me here. Then I'm gonna get a few precepts. This place, the Lord finna do a real number on this place, and everything that's going on outside of America is gonna come here, man. Like it said in Isaiah 47, the Lord said the judgment that's coming to America is gonna come in her perfection. See, the so-called white man perfected his wickedness from the Greeks to now. They perfected their wickedness. They perfected the sword. Let's go back. So this showing you parts of what happened when Russia was the Soviet Union.
In Warsaw. Display of military might in Warsaw.
Poland has paraded its military hardware on the streets of Warsaw.
Poland's military is flexing its arsenal in the largest parade in decades. It's a significant display of how billions have been spent on new equipment since 2014.
This year's parade is the largest since the Cold War.
We are modernizing our armed forces. This year, we will allocate over 4% of GDP on defense.
This time around, Poland is taking no chances.
This isn't just flexing muscles, though. The country wants to get the biggest army in the European Union, bigger than the armies of Germany, France, or Italy. Poland has one of the most ambitious military strategies in the continent, as it wants to double the size of its armed forces in just 2 years. The nation's military personnel is planned to grow from 150,000 to 300,000 in 2025. Just for comparison, that's more than double the size of the UK's armed forces. The government in Warsaw also plans an unprecedented rise in military spending, going from 2.4% of GDP towards 5% of GDP eventually. That's the highest military spending in the entire NATO alliance. Speaking relative to GDP, the target range for NATO countries is only 2%. The 5% figure even
Here we go with the bull.
From 2.4% of GDP towards 5% of GDP eventually. That's the highest military spending in the entire NATO alliance. Speaking relative to GDP, the target range for NATO countries is only 2%. Right now, Washington spends around 3.5% of GDP on its military. Even though Poland's economy is a lot smaller than the US, this rise in defensive spending still gives it billions of dollars in additional funding. The Polish government is using this money to purchase tons of military equipment to get the largest land army in Europe. With deals like this, Poland is trying to get one of the largest armies in Europe in terms of military hardware, and everyone who knows a bit of Polish history understands why. Poland doesn't want to get wrecked by other European countries ever again. At the end of Warsaw, it seems like for the war NATO, Russia, Putin because Europe is from guaranteed. Right now, engine are Belarus, Poland, Polish, and troops. When Putin sent Wagner troops to Belarus, Poland decided to move 10,000 troops to the border due to mounting concerns. After Prigozhin's death, Wagner isn't that big a concern anymore, but the tensions at the Belarusian border haven't gone away. Recently, Russia has moved short-range nuclear weapons to Belarus, further escalating the situation. Putin's dictator buddy, Lukashenko, is glad and its conflict in the West, which has become a real threat to war. Where Poland isn't sitting idly and letting the
He said, I want to play. Hold on. These damn devils, I tell you.
To go over the major geopolitical implications of this development. You see, Poland is using the military buildup to become one of the regional leaders of Europe. Before we dive into this video, consider hitting the like button down below. It helps the channel a lot because videos like this don't get far without your support. The algorithm can be ruthless at times, especially when we cover military topics like this. Ultimately, you guys allowed us to make these videos. Thanks.
September the 1st, 1939. Germany invades Poland. Within days, German forces are advancing on Warsaw. The nightmare of a new order. Hitler's Luftwaffe bombs cities, killing thousands of civilians. German planes destroy the Polish Air Force. Fear spreads in families. Within 2 weeks, Warsaw is surrounded.
See,
the modern history of Poland is filled with wars and catastrophes. This is all indirectly caused by Poland's geography. Frankly, the country's geography is quite terrible when you look at national security aspects. Poland has no natural defenses, as it's located right at the heart of the European plain. The area is vulnerable to both the east and the west, which can clearly be seen in history. Repeatedly, Poland has been the stepping stone for any power expanding across the European plain. For the entire 19th century, Poland didn't even exist. The previous Polish state fell, partly because of its hardly defendable geography. The territory became occupied by the Prussians in the west, the Russians in the east, and the Habsburg monarchy.
They built back better. As the Germans destroyed them, they built back better. Well, that's what the Lord said in Joel 2, around the Joel chapter 3. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, right? Beat your plowshares and the swords and the pruning hooks and the spears. So this is the Lord. Oh, that's let me read this. First, let me get this, because I got a few precepts here. So this is Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 5. It reads, Behold ye among the heathen and regard and wonder marvelously. Here's the Lord talking to the remnant of Israel, because 2/3 ain't paying attention to what's going on. Behold ye among the heathen and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days, which you would not believe, though it be told to you. And that applies to the 2/3. Because this is being told to them and they don't believe it. This is being told to the heathens and they don't believe it. See, I'm watching this video with this guy Scott Ritter. It's a lot of, it's like at least 3 or 4 right now they showing on in the timeline, and he's talking about how Israel done screwed up, man, and it's finna go dark, man. They finna be destroyed. They can tell you what's happening, but they don't know who's doing it. And why? This is Isaiah. This is Isaiah 42:13. It reads, Yahweh shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, ye a roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. So the Lord is stirring up jealousy, man. Play a little bit more of this.
In the south. When Europe later descended into World War I, it was disastrous for the Poles. After Germany and Russia declared war, the front line fell right into their territory. Many Poles had to fight in the war, as 450,000 Poles died and 1 million were wounded. In 1960,
Do you have a car? And do you have a clean driving record? Did you know you could pay as
around 2 million people from Poland were fighting in the armies of Germany, Austria, or Russia. After the war ended, much of the country was destroyed because of intense warfare. The occupied territories of Poland were left in ruin. Indirectly, this was due to Poland's unfortunate geography. Because of its central and unprotected position on the map, the Polish territories were heavily targeted. The only positive side of the war was that Poland regained its independence shortly after. Seemingly, this was good news for the country. Poland didn't have to be involved in these terrible wars anymore, right? Well, no. In 1939, disaster struck the country once again. Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union invaded Poland from 2 sides. Poland lost the unfair fight against these military giants with awful consequences. Both the East and West had to suffer from totalitarian military occupations, with Hitler and Stalin ruling over the country. We don't think you can get worse leaders than that. On top of that, Poland became a front line just like in World War I. The two dictators decided to fight each other, and Poland was the unfortunate country right in between. World War II left an even bigger scar on the country than the previous one, which it remembers to this day. An estimated 6 million Poles died during the war, which is 20% of the pre-war population. Half of the victims were Polish Jews who were prosecuted by the Nazis. After this horrible episode of history, it didn't get a whole lot better for Poland. The country became ruled by communists in what is known as the Polish People's Republic. For decades, Warsaw was a satellite for Moscow and the USSR. You know, with the gulags and Stalin's left-wing totalitarianism. It was only in 1989 that Poland regained its independence when the Soviet Union fell. The last 30 years have been a very rare time in history where Poland has been relatively prosperous and secure. It has joined the European Union and the NATO alliance, which has given the country a break from all the chaos. Nevertheless, this Polish history is crucial to understand. The government in Warsaw knows fully well that peace and prosperity is far from ordinary. From a historical perspective, it makes perfect sense to try and bolster the Polish defenses. If Poland wants to defend itself as a vulnerable country on the European plane, it needs a strong military. The first steps in this direction were already made in 2012, when the Polish government released a 10-year technical modernization plan. This would improve the armed forces of Poland, as $15 billion worth of weapon purchases were planned. But in 2022, this historical notion
is nothing else matters, man. And it's all because they put their hands on the apple of the Lord's eye, first and foremost, with his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai. This is all because they put their hands on the apple of the Lord's eye. And the Lord let them do it. Just so he could be justified in destroying these bastards, man. This is Joel 3:9. Hey, this Joel 3, man, this chapter, the Lord say, because what you did, read right here, verse 2, it reads, I will also gather all nations, Joel 3:2, and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yehoshaphat, and will plead with them there. Why? For my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. This is all happening because you touched the wrong people, or you touched the right people. However you want to look at it. This verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, that the weak say I am strong. Why are they showing you about World War I and then World War II? Why are they showing you that? Because this is the Lord, man. Revelation. Yahweh Shema Shai is cold. Cold, man. Revelations 9:12. One woe is past, and behold, there'll come two woes more hereafter. Revelations 11:14. The second woe is past. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So they showing you about what happened in World War I and II. It's in the scriptures, man. So here we are watching World War III brew up. Why is everybody getting their military together? For what? Because the same thing happened. It happened again in the Soviet Union, which is Ezekiel 38. The Lord said He's gonna put hooks into the jaws, right, and turn them back. Back to what? The old Soviet Union, the old Cold War mentality, man.
as safe as everyone thought it was. Ukraine, which is a neighbor of Poland, has experienced the threat from Moscow firsthand. With Putin's attack, many see the revival of Russian imperialism. As you guys know, YouTube has a habit of restricting our videos, and sometimes it's not even YouTube's fault. It's the brands that run ads on YouTube. They don't want their ads next to controversial videos, so they tell YouTube to restrict controversial videos like ours that cover geopolitics. That means sometimes we have to forego covering certain news topics because we know YouTube will.
So, was she going to some points on that? So let me pull up this next clip. And I just want to show these certain parts of these videos, man. because war is brewing up. World War III is brewing, man. What was that? Let's see. I just get this one. And I had a lot more videos, man, but I just want to show because Jake is asleep out here, man. They ain't paying attention.
Visual politic community. What is happening in Poland could change the balance of power across the European continent. This country has decided to break the mold, beat all records.
Now look, this is beautiful because right here, see this on the side? It say, how would the United States fight a nuclear war? And they show you in the beginning. See the stealth bomber right there? That's a stealth. That's a stealth bomber. Now they got these. You see the nuclear blast right there when the missiles hit. See this? Can't make this shit up, man. Right here, Russia scares U.S. with five never seen before weapons. So, how they gonna fight a nuclear war? That's why I say Satan is angels. His angels is his jets, man. They coming out. They got a NGAD, a jet that's supposed to go at like Mach 10 speed. Who the hell gonna fly that, man? A human body can't take that type of pressure. He stop you with that bullshit. They got the stealth bomb. They got another jet that I did a video on some years ago called a TR-3B. It looked like a Dorito chip, like it's shaped like a damn Dorito, man. Cause they trying to create and the Lord giving them a little bit of tech to the point of advancing. Because we were talking about this at camp. I think it was Walter that said, you know, the scripture tell you that in Job, was it 21, that he cannot pass. Let me read this. So the Lord is giving them enough technology. His technology only advanced to making missiles. That was it. That's what the brother said. That's far as the so-called white man technology. As far as his mind can go, or as far as his education system can go, is to developing missiles. That was it. What is that? Job. As far as they tech can go, man. They mind. As far as their education can go, is to making missiles, man. This is Job 21:19. It reads, God lift up his iniquity for his children. He rewardeth him, and he shall know it. His eyes shall see his destruction, and he shall drink of the wrath of the Almighty. For what pleasure have he in his house after him, when the number of his months is cut off in the midst? When the number of your months is cut off in the midst, that's like having a heart attack and you just drop dead and die. That's what this is saying, man. When the number of his months is cut off in the midst. So you got the Job 14:5. It reads, see, his days are determined. The number of his months are with thee, that has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So the Lord gave the so-called white man education system to just create missiles. And as far as their education go, man, it don't go past that. The Lord is cold, man. The Lord is cold, man.
And increase its military spending to levels never seen before.
See, let's run this back. This is what the Lord is doing, man. Let me get this. This is Isaiah. Man, the strategic moves Yahweh Shemashah been making since the beginning, man. Since after the flood, it all comes to this. And the Lord showed that power with Sodom and Gomorrah and the other three cities, man. So what the Lord did, because they tell you that it rained fire and brimstone on Sodom, Gomorrah, and the other three cities. So what the Lord has done was gave the so-called white man technology to take that same fire and brimstone and put it into a little canister. It's the same tech, man. It's the same power. The Lord just let them put it in a damn can with a head on it, man. This is Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this, what? World War III shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Let's run this back. This is all about military spending. And Trump had got pissed off with NATO about beefing up the military spending. Well, they doing it now. They don't got no choice. And Russia got the most missiles than any country. Poland, the little other video, Poland, hey, because they took an L. They took 2 L's, World War I and II. Well, Poland is right there in damn Russia, man. That's a part of, just like Ukraine is a part of Russia. Putin taking all that back, man. Just like, what's the other country? What's the other little city over there he took back? What is it? I can't think of the name right now. There's another little city he took back over there. I can't think of it right off. It might come to me.
Visual politic community. What is happening in Poland could change the balance of power across the European continent. This country has decided to break the mold, beat all records, and increase its military spending to levels never seen before. Pay close attention.
Military spending to levels never seen
Poland
before,
is probably the European country that suffered the most during the 20th century. It was invaded by the Russians, by the Germans. It was divided, destroyed, and bore the brunt of the Second World War. And to top it off, it ended up being subjugated to 50 long years of Soviet communism. Destruction, and above all, ruin, accompanied this country for most of the 20th century. And that's why you can believe me when I tell you that Poles are not willing to let history repeat itself under any circumstances. And that is exactly why this country has left the whole of NATO open-mouthed. How? Well, with news like this.
Poland to spend 5% of GDP on defense in 2025, says Foreign Minister.
A whopping 5% of GDP. You heard correctly. The Poles are ready to invest almost $50 billion in defense by 2025. Yes, that's right. The same amount as much richer countries like South Korea. It's a crazy figure. In relative terms, it amounts to almost the same military effort as Russia's, 50% more than that of the United States, and twice that of the South Koreans. And this, what's more, represents a radical change, a 180-degree turn.
You are reliable, a hard worker. You're a joy to work with.
You see, he said almost more than Russia. Ain't nobody gonna never have more than Russia.
The Poles have set out to move from having one of the most antiquated and poorly equipped armed forces in Europe to one of the most modern. But do you know what? They don't want to do it the way we all would probably think. Let me explain. Lately, the trend in Western countries is to invest more in air power and unmanned technologies, leaving aside
because these is his angels, man. When they tell you the dragon and his angels fought against the Lord and his angels. Let me get this. These are his angels, man. It's Revelation. Let's go to 12. It reads, Revelation 12:7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the angels fought against his angels. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. See, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world with his philosophies, with his religion. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. This is talking about the so-called white man, the elites in their military power, man. This is where they create these new jets. The newest one is called the NGAD, and they got the TR-3B. They constantly upgrading these F-35s, man.
Traditional ground armies. More drones, fewer tanks, more aircraft, less artillery. In fact, many countries are cutting the size of their territorial armies precisely to free up resources to improve the other branches of their armed forces. Nevertheless, Poland is doing the opposite. There are more and more ground soldiers.
See why America got missiles. Right, these other countries got missiles, but these Edomites are stupid, man. Because the Lord got them fighting against their own brethren, which they have always been doing since the Greek Empire with Alexander and his 4 generals, right? They always been fighting the British, French, and the Spanish fighting over here in Babylon the Great. They colonized America. Putin ain't won by no damn planes, man. He created missiles. The Lord got it. And we were making a joke about this at camp Saturday. So you had America and Putin, and America and the Soviet Union took these German scientists to create these missiles, the atom bomb first, right? Well, We was joking that Russia must got the good ones, the smart ones, man, because America is dumb, man. So Putin, the Soviet Union must have got the good scientists. Them Teamanite, man, they create the missiles, them atom bombs, man. America must got the dumb ones, man. Because the Lord is showing these people they're stupid, man. Well, they went by F-35s and creating these jets. Man, Putin making missiles, man, which is prophecy.
And the idea is that they will continue to grow in number. Take a look at this crazy graphic. In just 4 years, I repeat, in just 4 years, Poland has practically doubled the size of its armed forces. According to the Polish government, by 2024, they already had 216,000 professional personnel. What's more, Poland is expected to end 2024 with the third largest armed forces in all of NATO, behind only the United States and Turkey. But the idea is to go further. Warsaw aims to reach 300,000 soldiers in the not too distant future.
So hold on, look at this. Let's go, look right here. So it's showing you right here, Luxembourg, it got Montego, Slovenia, Macedonia, Albany, Estonia, Latvia, Croatia, Denmark, all these countries, Hungary, Sweden, Belgium, Norway, Bulgaria, Portugal, what's that? Czech Republic, Finland, Netherlands. These are the 10 horns up in here. Romania, Canada, Greece, Spain, UK, Italy, Germany, France, Poland, Turkey, USA. Right? You don't see Russia in there. Also, this is the EU and NATO together, right? So here's Poland trying to produce more than any of their allies. And Russia is over all these countries when it comes to military. When it comes to these intercontinental ballistic missiles, Russia is controlling the planet, man. And it's Yahweh Shema Shah.
And Turkey. But the idea is to go further. Warsaw aims to reach 300,000 soldiers in the not too distant future. And guess what? There were those who thought that this whole gamble was nothing more than a strategy to try to scrape votes by the party that, until recently, governed Poland, the Nationalist Law and Justice Formation. However, in contrast to this assumption, the truth is that the new
That's a fire precept in the NLT for the Isaiah 19:1. Isaiah ben Yahweh, it reads, "This message came to me concerning Egypt. Look, Yahweh is advancing against Egypt. Riding on a swift cloud, the idols of Egypt tremble, the hearts of Egyptians melt with fear." That's beautiful. The Lord is advancing, man. I will make Egyptian fight against Egyptian, brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, city against city, province against province. That's beautiful.
Prime Minister. The centre-right Donald Tusk also advocates continuing with this major military expansion. For the Poles, this is a matter of national interest.
The great effort ahead of us and from which there is no turning back. That is, the increase in spending on armaments and defense. It is a great effort, but there is no turning back from it.
No climate change, no welfare state. The great political consensus in Poland is that they have to rapidly expand their military capabilities. Which brings us directly to a big question. Why does Poland need so many troops in its armed forces? What is behind this titanic military effort? And why are they prioritizing the army? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about two very different things, but ones that are intimately related to each other: strategic plans and weapons. This will help you understand why Poland is spending so much money on defense. And we'll also see other surprising strategies of our times. For example, did you know that there is talk of building a wall, yet not a normal wall, but rather a super armored one, full of technology? Pay close attention.
The East Shield.
We aren't talking about a Game of Thrones style ice war, but the idea is not so far-fetched. As we were saying, Poland has learned well the lessons of history, and instead of waiting for trouble to come from the east, it's building its own East Shield. We're talking about a wall, a large high-tech wall with anti-tank trenches, surveillance sensors, and anti-drone systems. And while in Westeros, the wall protected the Seven Kingdoms from the White Walkers, here the objective is different: to stop Russia. Now, what exactly is all this about, the East Shield? Well, let's start by talking about numbers, which I can already tell you are vertigo-inducing. The East Shield is a Polish government program to fortify its eastern borders with both Belarus and the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad. The Poles are trying to involve NATO to be part of the project, but whether they succeed or not, one thing is clear: they are determined to see this project through, no matter what it takes. As you can imagine, the costs are not small.
Poland gives details on Eastern Shield to be deployed on Belarusian and Russian borders. The government is to invest 2.3 billion euros in making the border impossible for a potential enemy to cross.
An initial budget of more than $2.5 billion, which, well, you know how these things are.
This
Will
is
end up
the carnal mind of Esau Edom, the so-called white man, because they don't know that this is the Lord that's doing this. It has nothing to do with man. It has nothing to do with human flesh, man. This is the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah working. See, this is the carnal mind of the so-called white man.
being much more to super fortify.
You gonna put a border wall up on the biggest country on the planet Earth? Man, stop that shit.
Between 400 and 500 kilometers of border, almost the entire border that Poland shares with Russia and Belarus.
Our actions are aimed at defending every inch of our republic's territory.
And as I said, this time we're not only talking about the typical anti-tank ditches, dragon's teeth, and watchtowers.
Have you built an amazing track but need killer vocals to take it over the top? Meet Vocalist.ai.
Russia took back, man.
Poland wants the shield to be a technological jewel, capable of protecting the country from the three main Russian threats: heavy artillery, drones, and avalanches of migrants, used as a weapon of hybrid warfare by Russia and Belarus. This strip of about 200 meters wide will have anti-drone towers, seismic sensors, and large gas-filled balloons, which are known as reconnaissance aerostats, that can detect military movements more than 300 kilometers. That's over 185 miles away. But there's even more. This fortification will also include reinforced concrete hedges, bunkers, bridges, and reinforced roads. Spaces have even been set aside for the installation of minefields. We're talking about a combination of physical barriers to slow down or even prevent any enemy incursion. But just in case, the Polish plan also envisages setting up forward operating bases, logistics nodes, and all the necessary infrastructure along the way. What you're looking at is the largest defensive reinforcement of NATO's eastern flank since 1945. The objective is not only to block an attack, but to slow down any enemy movement enough to allow Polish and NATO forces to deploy in sufficient numbers to repel the attack.
We must be prepared for a full-scale conflict of a symmetrical nature and of long duration, and this is related to the fact that we must maintain the armed forces in good condition.
We're talking about a military mega-project supported by 65% of Poles and expected to be operational by 2028. Best of all, this is not an isolated Polish effort. Its neighbors in the Baltic republics, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, are also creating similar border defenses, albeit less comprehensive than this project.
Lithuania opens first anti-mobility equipment park as part of new Baltic defense line.
Visual politic community. Since Russia unleashed its horror in Ukraine, the Baltics have started to create their own border defense systems. Lithuania, for example, is building its own border fence with Belarus, a structure that includes not only physical barriers, but also detection and surveillance systems. And if NATO manages to coordinate both projects well, these could function as a single maximum security border mega corridor, capable of protecting Poland, the Baltic countries, and the Suwałki corridor. It is, in essence, a defensive mesh that would buy time. The idea is that under no circumstances should the Russians be able to penetrate NATO soil, neither with uniformed troops nor with mercenaries, at least for the time necessary to mobilize the bulk of the armed forces. Therefore, in addition to physical barriers, logistical corridors are also being developed to facilitate the rapid movement of troops and military equipment, all to avoid a kind of Kursk in Poland or the Baltic republics. Because as we already told you here on Visual Politic, there is fear that following game theory, there may come a time when Russia may be interested in military action on NATO territory in order to force a negotiation. You think it doesn't make sense? Well, we'll link a video for you in the description where we tell you how this operation could come about. Now, as well as the East Shield, there's still more.
Poland launches Operation Safe Podlasie with 17,000 troops to protect eastern border amid growing hybrid threats.
Since the 1st of August, a combined force of Poles and other NATO allies have been protecting the border with Belarus and training soldiers. And the objective seems basically the same as that of the Shield.
And this goes back to the army being spread too thin, man. They spread it too thin. There's too much going on, man. Now let me play this last clip I got. This is beautiful, man, because they spread it too thin. So America they defending Taiwan from China. Taiwan from China, right? They defending and Israel getting beat up, man. Them Israelis over there getting beat up by Hezbollah, man.
Iranian, Caspian,
Hold on. Let me back this up. I'm gonna play some of this. And they defending Ukraine from Russia, man. And these are all U.S. troops. They spread it too thin, man. See, this is the trash of America's news right here. They say Putin knows his life is over as Russia attacks NATO ships. See, that's that Babylon the Great trash news, man. Because it ain't what the scriptures say. Whether it be Putin or another Edomite that rises, Russia is the guard, man.
The Ukrainian army is engaged in a do-or-die battle on the front lines. The Russian army remains dominant in the trenches.
See,
despite Ukraine's successful incursion into Russia's southwestern region of Kursk, Vladimir Putin's forces remain in control of large parts of Ukrainian territory. Ukraine's F-16s are yet to turn the tide for Volodymyr Zelensky. Kyiv does not have the permission to use Western-made weapons to full effect. Zelensky is waiting to use long-range weapons to strike inside Russia. The United States, Germany, and the United Kingdom are yet to give the final go-ahead. And Putin is using this to his advantage. Ukraine's incursion into Kursk has dragged on for over a month. Zelensky's troops still control almost 1,200 square kilometers of Russian territory. Ukraine still controls at least 4 major townships in Kursk, including the nuclear power plant town of Sudza. While slow to respond, Russia has made countergains, particularly on the western flank of the Ukrainian offensive. However, apart from the success in Kursk, thanks to a surprise offensive, Kyiv is not seeing much improvement elsewhere. Russia continues to occupy most of eastern Ukraine, and Putin's troops have captured even more land in the Donbass. Both Ukraine and Russia refuse to negotiate a truce and are playing a match of who can grab more land.
There is a very significant point. We have not conducted are not conducting and will not conduct any negotiations with terrorists. They are just that because the desire to carry out nuclear terror in relation to the Kursk nuclear power station is nothing but a high level of terrorism, I would say. That is, the desire, the intention was to move there and take over the nuclear station. Fortunately, this did not succeed. And until we throw them out of our territory, we naturally will not talk about any negotiations with them.
The battlefield remains a meat grinder. Zelensky is desperate for a nod from NATO to strike deep inside Russia. Putin has warned the West against giving that approval.
If this decision is made, it will mean nothing less than the direct participation of NATO countries, the United States, and European countries in the war in Ukraine. This is their direct participation, and this, of course, significantly changes the very essence, the very nature of the conflict. This will mean that NATO countries, the United States, and European countries are fighting Russia.
Yep.
And if this is so, then, bearing in mind the change in the very essence of this conflict, we will make appropriate decisions based on the threats that will be created for us.
Меняет саму суть, саму природу конфликта.
That's what the scriptures say, man.
With an eye on NATO, Putin decided to flex his military muscle as he launched the largest naval drills since the collapse of the Soviet Union. On the 10th of September, Russia launched its largest naval drill in decades.
See, they keep mentioning as the Soviet Union, man. That's Ezekiel 38, man. That's where we at. And he already said, and Putin already said last year, 2 years ago, he will destroy the whole planet, man. He said that in the interview. He will burn the whole planet up, man. That's Yahweh Shem Shah flexing, man.
Putin mobilized all the 5 fleets, and joining the Russian forces were their biggest ally, China. During the Cold War, Ocean was the codename of the largest exercise conducted by the Soviet Navy in the 1970s and the 1980s. Drawing from the historic tradition, Putin launched Ocean 2024 in a direct challenge to NATO. Russian and Chinese ships were deployed in the Pacific and Arctic Oceans. Similar deployments were also carried out in the Mediterranean, Caspian, and Baltic Seas. Ocean 2024 saw the participation of at least 400 battleships, including submarines, destroyers, and frigates. Over 130 aircraft also took part in the exercise. More than 90,000 personnel were involved in the week-long drills. Russian and Chinese forces practiced anti-submarine warfare.
Man, this costs a lot of money to do this, man. For all these countries. US, NATO, EU, Russia, China, and Iran, and North Korea. It costs a lot of money to test these missiles, man. They are spending billions and trillions of dollars to do drills just to flex. And then you got Jake telling me ain't no missiles in the Bible, man. But then why is these people using these missiles? Submarines, cruise missiles, and hypersonic missiles. The Lord, man. This is all the Lord. And it's all because these bastards put their hands on us, man. These bastards that put Yahweh shot to death, man. That's why he said in Revelation 1:7, every eye shall see him, even those that pierced him, man. And who pierced him? It was the Romans, the Edomites, the so-called white man pierced the Lord. That's who's going to be in rulership when Yahweh shall return, man. The Edomites, the so-called white man.
Enemy aircraft interceptions, and live-fire drills involving a range of weapons, spanning from small arms to tactical nuclear missiles. Putin said the drills involving China were a message to the United States and NATO that the Western nations cannot sleep on Russia and China.
Hold on, I got to get this. Because he said there was a message to US and NATO and EU, man. So this is Habakkuk, because the scripture talks about them. Man, everybody is flexing, especially North Korea, man. And then Putin, I did a video a few weeks ago. Putin said, if you looking for real morals, come to Russia. He said, man, come to death row, man. He said, come to death row, man. If you want, he said, if you care about morals and you want, he said, you can leave the West and come to Russia, man. That man is flexing. This is Habakkuk 2 in verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb, right? This taunting proverb. Let's go to the blue letter. See, these nations is talking trash against Babylon, man. So that word taunting proverb is taunting.
Page 4426. Melitza. Melitza.
It says marking poem, taunting. Let me go to the Strong's. It says to scorn, make mouths at, talk arrogantly, to boast, to scorn, to mark, deride. It's a scoff, act as a scorner, show oneself a marker. So these taunting proverbs that's being made at America from these countries, that's them taunting, man. It's a having derision, marker, to scoff, man, to make mouths at. This is what these countries. Because I did a video in the article said that all the people in Russia, it said all the protesters that was in Russia was saying that Putin need to point a missile at every state in America. I did a video on it, man. These are taunting proverbs. Korea, they constantly saying how they got missiles pointed at America. That's a taunting proverb, man. For Putin to say anything against Babylon, man. What this guy just said. Let's run this back. Run it back a few ticks.
Western nations cannot sleep on Russia and China.
Hold on. I ain't go back far enough. Let's go back to 20.
Forces practiced anti-submarine warfare, enemy aircraft interceptions, and live-fire drills involving a range of weapons, spanning from small arms to tactical nuclear missiles. Putin said the drills involving China were a message to the United States and NATO.
See, that's a taunting proverb right there, man. That's a taunting proverb, man.
That the Western nations cannot sleep on Russia and China.
We see that the United States of America are trying to maintain their global military and political dominance at any cost.
Yep, at any cost.
To this end, using Ukraine, they are trying to inflict a strategic defeat on our country. Under the pretext of countering the allegedly existing Russian threat and containing the People's Republic of China, the United States and their satellites are increasing their military presence near Russia's western borders, in the Arctic and in the Asia-Pacific region. In fact, the U.S. are provoking an arms race, disregarding the security of their European and Asian allies, creating the preconditions for a dangerous crisis situation in Europe and the Asia-Pacific region.
This is from what's this guy name? Redacted. It says, hold on here. Let me pull this up. It just popped up. It say, where is it? Redacted. Nuclear weapons. It say, we will use tactical nuclear weapons. Russia warns NATO again.
This is how I get paid, Dave.
Hold on, what's the title say? We will use tactical nuclear weapons. Russia warns NATO against escalation. Yeah, man. I saw this a little while ago. This is where we at, man. This is deadly serious.
During Ocean 2024, the United States and the United Kingdom sent their top diplomats to Ukraine. Antony Blinken and David Lammy met Zelensky in Kyiv, and they pledged more support for Ukraine.
Thank you very, very much. And it's always so good to see you and to see all of our colleagues. I'm delighted, particularly, to be here with David. The United States, the United Kingdom, united for Ukraine. And not just our two countries, dozens of other countries that continue to support Ukraine's success, Ukraine's victory.
This is the first time in well over a decade that a Secretary of State from the US and a Foreign Secretary in the UK have traveled together, and that is to reiterate our complete support for the Ukrainian struggle.
That's what they're doing. Giving complete
Following their visit,
support. Watch
Putin
them be
decided
destroyed,
to
man.
increase the heat. 4 Russian ships were ordered to leave the designated exercise area in the North Sea and pass through the English Channel.
See, you can't make this up. Putin war machines taunt Britain. See? The taunting proverb, man. Putin war machines taunt Britain, man. Yeah, we here, man.
Russia also flew 2 strategic bombers over the English Channel airspace. In response, the UK deployed the HMS Iron Duke and the HMS Tyne to shadow the Russian warships. Britain also scrambled its Eurofighter Typhoons to chase away the Russian bombers. Following this brief chase, the UK's Foreign Secretary pledged 100 years of support to Ukraine, drawing a stern response from the Kremlin. Putin's ally and former president Dmitry Medvedev threatened to sink the tiny island of Britain. Medvedev added that Russia's hypersonic missiles would get the job done really fast. And Putin doubled down. He threatened to take the fighting to the open seas.
Любой ценой сохранить свое глобальное.
Russia must be prepared for any development of the situation, and our armed forces must ensure reliable protection of the sovereignty and national interests of Russia. Repel possible military aggression in any direction, including in the ocean and sea zone. The Navy plays a key role in solving this problem.
Военное присутствие вблизи западных рубежей России, в Арктике и в Азиатско-Тихоокеанском регионе.
Throughout Ocean 2024, China remained a participant in the drills. Despite their small contingent, Beijing had Moscow's back. With Russia supporting China's territorial claims in the South China Sea, Xi Jinping is supporting Putin in taking the West head-on.
Yep, I got it. So, Kala, yeah, about your mouth shot. So let me get a couple of you brother precepts. So I found this. I did a lesson on this a little minute ago. This was actually 1 month ago. Let me put this devil back up on the screen for the steal. So it says Putin has decided. I did this video a month ago now. Putin has decided that Russia is going to be a safe haven for people who want to trade liberal Western ways for Russian moral values. That's a taunting proverb to the West, man. Here is the guard saying, I'm the guard. Come to death row. Again, Putin has decided that Russia is going to be a safe haven for people who want to trade liberal Western ways for Russian moral values. He's speaking like a guard. He's saying if you want real moral values, you got some integrity about yourself, come to death row, man. Come to Russia, man. Yeah. Again, Putin has decided that Russia is going to be a safe haven for people who want to trade liberal Western ways for Russian moral values, man. This is all the Lord, man. So the brother put a precept. I want to read this. This is from Isaiah Bun Yahweh. It reads, Wisdom of Solomon 3:16. As for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and the seed of the unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. Verse 17. It applies to 2/3 of Jacob, but this applies to these Edomites. It reads, verse 17, for though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. Right? I got to get this. This is their last age, and it's going to be without honor, man. Because, you know, Esau talking about civilization started with the Greeks. This is Job 24 and 23 reads, but this is their last age. This is their last great white hope, their last hurrah. Job 24 and 23, though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. Yahweh Shema is watching. The angels is watching. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. And that's what the Lord told the Edomites from the beginning, Genesis 3 and 14. Thus shall thou eat all the days of thy life. On thy belly shall I go, meaning you're going to be brought low. It reads, they are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other rulerships, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And I got and I was from the title of this lesson. I had another lesson I was going to do, which I got the title, All Man-Made Kingdoms Fall Through Process of Time. So Lord will have to do that tomorrow. Again, Job 24 and 23, they are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so, who will make me a liar and make my speech nothing worth? This is Psalms 10 and verse 15. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. See, they got to be destroyed. Verse 16, Yahweh is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. And we watching, and I was finna put that in that lesson too, that the precepts, when the Lord said that, when Yahweh said that they shall trot down the land till the time of the Gentiles are fulfilled, man. So remember, they was having a gay old time over there in the state of Israel. There was a big party going on. Then paratroopers came in, and it's been bloodshed over there ever since, man. Remember, they was having a party. Paratroopers were coming in, and it's been bloodshed in that land ever since, man. So the Lord is it said he finna move, the wicked shall perish out of his land, man. So we watching the time of the Gentiles come into a fulfillment. So yeah, man, I just want to get up. I saw these articles, these videos, I mean, and I just had to, because I had a whole other lesson I was finna do. And the Lord just changed my spirit all up, man. So anyway, the Lord was edifying. Oh, matter of fact, let me get this before I close. Because that Joel 2. This is as a matter of fact, what was that? Psalms is it Psalms 10? No. I think it's 14. Let me see here. Oh, it's 11. This is Psalms 11 and 6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. Psalms 11 and 6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and a horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup. But I also want to get this too. In Ezekiel 25 and 7, it reads, Ezekiel 28 and 7, Salakia. So this is Ezekiel 28 and 7. It reads, Behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. And Russia is the terrible of the nations. And they shall draw their swords against thy beauty, against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. Right? We was reading this at camp. This Job 15 is fire, man. This is Job 15 in verse 21. A dreadful sound is in his ears. That dreadful sound is the truth, man. Like it say in Jeremiah, was Jeremiah 15, 43, 42, 43. The king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands wax feeble. So it say Job 15, 21, a dreadful sound is in his ears. That's him going, he's about to be destroyed. They going into slavery. This is a dreadful sound. Oh, the brother was quoting Saturday in Malachi. I said that the name of the Lord is dreadful among the heathen, which you were talking about 2/3 of Israelites back then, but it's talking about the heathens now, man, and 2/3 of Jake now. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, that's that Job 20 when they say, when they're about to fill his belly, the Lord shall rain it upon him. It reads, in prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. The destroyer is Yahushua. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, because the least been in secret for so long, right? This secret society. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. See, so this sword in Ezekiel 28 and 7, the Lord said, and this sword is the Edomites, it's the Russians, they're brothers, man. Let's go back to this. Ezekiel 28. The Lord said he's going to bring the terrible of the nations, and that'll be Russia, man. Ezekiel 28 and 7. Behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. See, Babylon the Great thing, they can outsmart Russia with their wisdom. But the Lord got them drawing their swords out. He said, behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee. It says strangers, right? Because they tell you, the brother put it up. The brother Jacob will prevail put up that Jeremiah 50 and 9, right? He called these nations to come from the north, right? It's a, behold, therefore will I bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. This is who's leading this guard. It is Ezekiel 38, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. See, in the midst of the people. So we are watching Russia draw their missiles against America's wisdom, man. The Lord is cold, man. This is Joel 2. I want to make this point. These missiles, it reads Joel 2 and 3. A fire devoureth before them, right? Before what? The missiles, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Before the missiles hit, it's all party, playing, paradise, cookies and cream, cakes and pies, right? It's all peaches and cream, right? Before them, it say the land is as the Garden of Eden before them, right? Paradise. And behind them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. That radiation blast, man. That radiation blast. And who was that? The elder had put that up. Oh, Elder Ayathan. He put a little short video up. Show you even if you standing miles from one of the missiles hit ground zero, man, you're gonna die a grievous death from the blast, man. It reads, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. This is the same vision that Joel is mentioning here It's in Revelations 9:16-18. Joel and John the Revelator saw the same vision of the missiles, man. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of a fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. In this, when they say as a strong people set in battle array, I like the precept is with the one in Isaiah 9:5, because in Isaiah 9:5, it's making it the first war was with when you watch the movie Troy, the movie Alexander, when you watch these movies, what was this other movie? Patriot with Mel Gibson. When you watch movies like that, they fought with swords, spears, shears, shields, daggers, armor, right? It's a Isaiah 9:5 for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. And I just showed a video. I did a lesson on this and I pulled a clip up with the movie Alexander. And I showed you how they fought and charged at each other on both sides. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, the yelling, right? The screaming, the spears and the swords clashing against the armor and the garments rolled in blood, because it was up close and personal. But this shall be a burning fuel of fire. So in Joel 2, it mentions this. It say Joel 2 in verse 5, like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of a fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. See, that's how the first battle is fought. But this battle is with intercontinental ballistic missiles. Before their face, the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. When you see these missiles not going up, when they coming down, it's gonna terrify. The people gonna give up the ghost, man. But the Lord gonna keep that spirit in them, because if you left for a missile, then that's your judgment, man. Because it's gonna be before the missiles even hit, it's gonna be famine out here, man. The zoo's gonna be open. They showed you that in the movie. They showed you in I Am Legend. The zoos is gonna be unlocked, man. Ain't gonna be no electricity, man. Ain't gonna be no cell phone. Ain't gonna be no. The zoo's gonna be open, man. The wild animals. And I went to what is this? Not Animal Kingdom. What is this? Busch Gardens. And I'm standing there looking at the lion, man. And he looked at me and he laid down and he like turned his head. And I'm looking at the the orangutan, was not orangutan. He looked at me and covered his head, man. Like they was shamed. I said, man, wait these Edomites taking pictures and shit. Wait till Busch Garden don't got no more electricity, man. Wait till them motherfucking animals is loose, man. They showed you in I Am Legend. It's gonna be so before the missiles hit, it's gonna be teeth of wild beasts. And it's gonna be as the scriptures say in Zechariah 14, your neighbor shall come at you for food. Isaiah 9 say the same thing, man. It said a man shall snatch on his hand, snatch on one hand and eat on the left hand, man. It's they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march everyone on his way. And they shall not break their ranks. Because when the missiles get shot off, they all get shot. They all got a GPS coordinates for wherever they getting targeted to. So they ain't gonna, it's neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path. Because they all got a GPS coordinates. And when they fall upon the sword, whatever missile defense system Babylon got or Israel got, whatever place gonna get destroyed, it said when they fall upon the sword, that's their defense system. They shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. Cause when they hit ground zero, everywhere, them blasts, man, they shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. That's once they go up and they come back down, man. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. And you talking about the heavens where the Heavenly Father and His Son is at. Earth is a heaven. They're saying it is the so-called white man's heaven and the black man's hell. This is the so-called white man's heaven, and it's the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians hell. The earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark because of the smoke from the missiles, and they shall and the stars shall withdraw their shining, because it's gonna be dark, man. It's gonna be from the mushroom cloud from the missiles. All that radiation, and it's gonna be bad, man. But before these missiles even touch down, man, it's gonna be famine out here. It's gonna be neighbor against neighbor. Cause then ain't gonna be no food for the common folk. The elites still gonna have food. Those that got the bag, they're gonna take the sea hill, so they're gonna have food. They're gonna die grievous deaths in their bunkers. The only ones gonna be left is the elites. But we talking about before the missiles even hit, man. So if you left here for a missile, that's a grievous personal judgment, man. So this is let me get Revelation chapter 9 and 16. It reads, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jasper and of brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, these warheads. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth, the warhead, and in their tail, for their tails were like unto serpents, right? They get propelled and had heads, and with them they do hurt. These is these intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. And I was making a point because the Lord said, right here, say they had fire, jasper, and brimstone in Jeremiah. See if I can find this. Was that Jeremiah 51, I think? Let's see. Looking for this one verse. Bear with me here. So this one here, this is Jeremiah 51. And let me get this. This is verse 27. It reads, set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini and Ashkenaz, and appoint a captain against her. Cause the horses to come up as a rough caterpillar. Ararat, Mini, and Ashkenaz. Ararat and Mini, that's Turkey. It's a prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. The captives and the Medes today, Russia occupying that land. The Russians. Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. To my Putin, man, and his allies. And the land shall tremble in sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without any inhabitant. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. This is why they pushing that draft, man, because ain't nobody signing up, man. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Niggas ain't going, these niggas staying at home, man. Niggas ain't going to no damn recruiting stations that might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places, her bars are broken. So these nations, these people over here, man, Jakes and these Edomites, man, these niggas ain't talking about going no damn signing up for nothing. I want to get this. Hold on. I want to find this verse because the Lord mentioned it in I read the Revelations 9. I want to get this verse because I read the one in Psalms 11. Let me find this. Bear with me here. I want to find this. Come on. On the phone, I can find it now. See, they don't give me the Revelations 9, which I just read. It was another, hold on. In Jeremiah. Right, so you got the Jeremiah 51 about the destroying wind, right? Let me get this in Joel. Let me go to Joel to get this one. Not Joel, Jude, Shalakia. This is Jude 1. And verse 7 it reads, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. And it's one in Peter's that say the same. But that's 2 Peter's. Right. This is 2 Peter 2 and 6. And turn the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that are after shall live ungodly. So the Lord took, I'm looking for this verse, man. It was another one. The Lord took that fire, smoke, and brimstone and had these Edomites to can it up, man, and put a lid on it, man. The Lord is cold. Let me see. Let me type it in like this. Bear with me. See if it'll come up. Okay, Jeremiah 50 and 49. Yeah, let me get the one in Jeremiah 50. I don't know why I forget. So this is Jeremiah 50. And this is how the Lord destroyed these 5 cities, man. It's Jeremiah 50 and 40 reads, as God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. See, behold, verse 41, a people shall come from the north, that's Russia, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea. That's Putin now, and these other nations. And they shall, Putin, China, North Korea, and Iran. Their voices roaring like the sea right now, man. Their voices seize the people. Their voices roaring among the people now. And they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array, like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Verse 43, the king of Babylon had heard the report of them. See? And how they hear the report? of Russia, Iran, China. They hearing it from Yahweh Shema Shah, man. See, the Lord made the World Wide Web, the unicorn. This is the voice box for the Lord, man. His men first and foremost, but he set up the unicorn for the truth to go out, man. So it said the king of Babylon had heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Angels took hold of them in pains of a woman in travail. These elites, man. See, the Lord is at the elites, man. Everybody else just casualties of war and collateral damage. The Lord at the elites. And them niggas gonna leave their palaces, because they don't got no damn mansions. They gonna leave their palaces and go straight to their bunkers. You'll never see them. Yeah, they got all these forerunners out here, these front men. This nigga Klaus Schwab, that nigga's a front man for the elites, man. He ain't nobody, man. That nigga, what's this other nigga name? Noah Yuval Harari and them niggas, man. They ain't nobody, man. Them niggas is front men. The elites gonna get to go straight from their palaces to bunkers, man. Because they hands waxing feeble. And they controlling both sides of war. The Lord got the spirit on them to control all this, man. So they know they're gonna have to run and hide, man. Cause they as you know, Paul's been saying it for years, man. When you read Ecclesiastes 12, when it said the keepers of the house shall tremble, man, the Lord, man, stirring up all this is because you put your hand on the Hebrew Israelites, man. You put your hands on so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. You went overboard. Because it's lawful to have servants. That's in the law. But what it said in Zechariah, was that Zechariah 1:15? They went overboard. Oh, and Isaiah 47:6. The Lord said, you have very heavily laid your yoke on his people. And everybody put their hands on us, man. So as the Lord said, he's gathering these nations just to destroy them, man. Because the earth, he made the earth for our sakes, man. For Israel. For you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. And we watching all this unfold, man. Man, this Jeremiah 50. Cold, man. Let me read this again. Jeremiah 50 and 41. Behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coasts of the earth. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, and everyone put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. Yeah, man. Man. So Lord was edifying. We give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rikah, Korash, Divine City Apostles and Elder Bishop Elders, a great millstone, rule well, teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, raising accepted or not. In the sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth, but the four winds of the earth, the entire world, sharing light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the world who are listening, learning. If you sisters who are listening, learning. Throughout tuning in, hey, through all of your precepts. Till next time, I say Shalom, Wa, Abba, Abba. I'm going to close. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Shalak Rayim, Wa Nashim, Wa Abadim, Wa Haragim, Wa Mashapayim, Wa Okal, Adawamium, Wa Kawarim, Wa Yab Yamna, Wa Bakashah, 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 Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, the Wada Aman. Hey, Shalom, man. Hey, again, throughout for the precepts, throughout tuning in. Hey, stay prayed up. May Yahweh Shema Shah bless your houses. May Yahweh Shema Shah continue to bless you in your houses. Oh, man. See? Yep. There's another one. I forget about this one right off. Isaiah 13 and 17. GMS, what's this? Tazak, what's this? Tazak Bun Dub. Let me say this right. Tazadad. I can't pronounce it right, brother. So Salakia. Tazad. Tazadad. Dabun Yehoda. I gotta get that, Lord willing. But he put up GMS Tazadak Dabun Yehoda 144K. Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. It say their eyes shall not spare children. Yeah. It reads verse 19. In Babylon and glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the child, these excellencies shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. We see they left. They dealing with other nations now, with local currencies, because they wasn't getting no money. See, they want that. See, Arabia want that international money. Neither shall the shepherd make their fold there. That's what happened. They left, man. They left. So yeah, the water for those precepts out. So until next time, I say Shalom, Wa Barber Ball.